Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is Saturday, March 2nd, 2024. I'm going to be giving you a window to my thought process on how I do a technical analysis breakdown on Bitcoin's dominance, XRP, Matic, and shout out to my supporters for requesting XDC. So, without you, I am nothing, and I am grateful for the support. So here you go, cuzzies. So, first things first, this is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. I am trying to teach you a process that I've been doing for 17 years that allows me to not justify price action based off of the news that is surrounding the asset and the market, but I use support, resistance, and certain indicators to help me paint a picture. Paint a picture if we're overbought, oversold, and if we have room to grow or room to bleed. I've been in crypto for about 10 years now, and I've been doing technical analysis for 17 years, and it's always F the news, cuzzy. Trust the charts. So, if you remember in my last video that I talked about Bitcoin's dominance, we did the bar pattern from here, and I said, you have to understand the market cycle, right? Let's take a step back. We're about a month, 2 months away from the Bitcoin halving. We're pumping. FOMO's happening. Fear of missing out. For the first time in 2 years, first of all, I've been screaming from the mountaintop, 17.5, 15.5, 13.5. If you remember that, do me a favor, put it in the comments. Maybe 2% of people listen to me, right? Not financial advice, but didn't listen to me. Now that Bitcoin's at 60-something thousand, I'm getting texts, emails, phone calls, anything you could think of. Yo, should I buy? Yeah, definitely. We're at the all-time high. Plenty of room to grow. I'm being sarcastic. Now, the trend is, there's always, not always, but Bitcoin usually breaks its all-time high and then has a blow-off top, right? So depending on if you're looking to invest short, mid, or long term, that answer of should I buy changes, right? What I do think is happening right now is alt season. And the reason why I say that is because of this part of the market, right? Bitcoin went up, it stayed flat, and then it pumped again. In the last video, I said we could start forming that sideways pattern where Bitcoin's dominance starts losing to the alt. And then when that happens, that will allow your coin versus the dollar to do what it needs to do. And what I mean by that is if your coin versus the dollar looks good, but your coin versus Bitcoin looks like poop poop, it doesn't pump, cuzzy. Bitcoin's dominance is at 54%. Whatever she does, your coin's going to do. Until there's another coin, I don't know when, but let's just say hypothetically in 5, 10, 15 years, if there's another coin that has more market share than Bitcoin, then that's the one that we will look at the pair. But as of right now, excuse me, Bitcoin has the majority of the money, so you have to look at your coin versus Bitcoin plus your coin versus the dollar. So we go to XRP. XRP, real quickly, unfortunately has the most positive news that you can argue has since 2014, but unfortunately has the most mediocre price action. So I want to pause the video. I want to ask you a question. Who's the smart investor? The person who bought Solana when everyone was dumping their bags? Sam Bankman-Fried was getting arrested. There was network outages. Everyone and their mother was saying the coin was dead. Or the person who bought XRP because it's taking over Swift. It has Rosarios. It has everything you could think of from being connected with the IMF, the WEF, the WWF. But yet the coin has been going sideways and has been underperforming to an asset or a coin that was supposedly dead. So who's the better investor? The person who's holding the coin that has the best fundamentals and news surrounding it, but is only made 100%, or the person Where is it? Or the person who owns a coin that had network outages, connections with criminals, but is up 1200%. Who's smarter, right? So I've been saying for the longest time, I'll be very transparent. This chart is very bullish, but it needs to break out, right? This looks like a huge bull flag or a symmetrical triangle. Technically, you're supposed to take this and then bring it over here, which brings XRP to, I couldn't even tell you, astronomical levels that aren't realistic, hypothetically. Things have to happen to adoption, I think, for, this type of price to be playing out for XRP, just based off of how many coins are in circulation. It's already market cap. So what I say with my technical analysis, I compare it to chess, right? You could prepare for however many moves in the game of chess. Same thing with technical analysis. But when you're opening up a trade, you're really only planning for the next move. The next move, unfortunately for XRP, is staying in this triangle and doing something like this. Going back to this level right about here. So, with that being said, is there room to open up a long hypothetically? Yeah. I would open up the long here. This is not where you're putting your stop loss. Okay. This is a monthly. Now let's zoom in. So here's your play. Your most recent lows are at the 51 cents. That's where I would be putting my stop loss. Let's just say right here, 50 cents. So if I was wrong, and let's just say something catastrophic was to happen in the world tomorrow to affect the markets, not being bullish, you're only having a 5% loss. And the reason why I say that is you can see you're coming back to support, back to support, back to support, back to support. So current support is literally 48 cents, not below. And with that said, I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to pick 2-3 levels on the way up, right? We got 50%. Let's do it right. Let's go back to the monthly. I always go to a longer time frame to see where major support and resistance levels are, and then I pick 2-3 levels on the way up to that basically line up with previous resistance in the past, right? So in the past, you saw major resistance at 114 and you saw resistance at 90 cents. Now, the trend that I have experienced over the past 9 years with XRP and the market, it's the transfer of wealth theory. Join the Discord. It's free. But this is what happens, right? Money starts with one coin. And also join the Discord because I posted something the other day that you need to understand. Every coin will pump. I don't want to hear your coin sector. I don't want to hear about the coin disrupting a market. I don't care because it hasn't impacted the price of any coin prior. I posted in the Discord yesterday, I think it was like 10, 15 charts, 10 different coins, 10 different tickers, 10 different founders, 10 different circulating supplies, 10 different, and they're all pointing up. They will all move at a different time, though. That's the transfer of wealth theory. If let's just say you had my skill set and you had 10,000 to work with, I would put my money in Bitcoin first, make its profit, take all the money, then go to Ethereum, let Ethereum pump, then go to another coin that looks like it's about to make its move up. And XRP usually moves last. So I'm telling you now, from my experience, when you see XRP at $1, I want you to make a conscious decision and understand that the whole alt season run could be on the cusp of a consolidation. Now, it doesn't mean the bear market is coming once we see $1. I just think we could do something like this, pop up to resistance, form a higher low here. This was resistance for literally since July 2023, the 70 cents. So I can see us pop up to, let's just say, excuse me, 90 cents to $1.10. If at that point some website or news article comes out putting gasoline on the fire. I could see a greed level of $1.41, but eventually, if we start trickling down, I could see major support around here again, right? The 70 cents to the 89 cents. But once again, the next move up. So once again here, right? You got 37%, 72%, 106%. 10% profit, 10% profit, 10% profit. Why? Because after pumps usually come blood, and you want to play with the house's money, right? If you ever gone to a casino and you sat down at a blackjack table, you put 500 down, you win 1,000, you take the 500, put it back in your pocket, right? Now you're playing with the house's money. Same theory with this. So the first thing we're going to look at is, well, look at that. We stopped right at major support that we have in the past. If we were to break this level and go down here, it would have been a lot worse. But we're stopping. We are stopping. So because we're stopping on a monthly, we go to a weekly. We want to see, yeah, we're extremely, extremely oversold. I mean, this is horrible. And you want to see what has happened when we went from this level back to this level. Do it yourself. March 2021, right? Look here. January 2021. Look here. 2017 December. And look here, April 17th. Pause the chart. Go to XRP versus the dollar and see what has happened. See? So what I try and do is I try and find trends and then bet with the trend. So we're at a point where it's like, XRP is about to pump almost 100%. What needs to happen in order for that to happen? Well, we need to gain value versus Bitcoin. If you remember, I just said, if your coin looks like poo-poo versus Bitcoin, your coin versus the dollar ain't doing nothing, cuzzy. But because XRP looks like it's forming a bottom, right? Doesn't look like this one yet, Matic, but it's forming a bottom. So what that means is, once again, profit from all the other coins that are pumping right now. Like I looked the other day, Doge is going. I forgot what other ones. Bonk, Pepe, they're all moving, right? And those profits will go to the ones that haven't moved. And then when the last ones move, where do you think it goes back to? Either the dollar or Bitcoin. So what I will be doing is watching the weekly chart, and I'll be watching the 5-day, the 4-day, and the 3-day. I want to see if there's any hidden bullish divergence playing out. It hasn't happened yet. These price waves are still going down. These are still going down. I want to see the steps going up. I want to see the steps going up while these steps are going flat. And what that'll show me is, once again, I trust indicators more than people. That will show me that a breakout is eventually going to happen. And then what I do is I line up golden crosses with the price action. So if I feel like this is about the golden cross, this is a 4-day chart, we have until March 5th to potentially the 9th in order to see the sideways action. Then I go longer and I say, okay, this one's about to golden cross potentially in like 2-3 bars, lining up with the 16th until you see the golden cross on the weekly. The reason why I say that is certain time frames don't mean anything when they golden cross or death cross, right? They have minimal impact. But when you have a golden cross on a weekly or a 2-week or a monthly, it means the long-term trend is changing. And I haven't said it in a while, but long-term trends predict short-term outcomes. Right? If you're looking at a 7-minute and you're like, oh, we're about to pump because the MACD is going here and the RSI is doing here, and meanwhile it doesn't. It's because the longer time frame is still bearish. You want the longer time frame to be bullish in order to open up longs on shorter time frame. If you're bearish on the longer time frames, you're looking for more shorts on the shorter time frames. So, once again, there are my XRP prices. If you wanted to be conservative, I wouldn't even do the $1.39. I'd do something like that. 89, 102, 113. Call it a day with 100% greed level. Matic. Shout out to everyone who listened. Matic is forming, it looks very bullish, bro, right? The stars are aligning. Once again, I go through my checklist. I want to know, is the long-term trend going down or is it going up? We've just golden crossed, right? With the first blue positive line coming in. Is it in section A above the histogram or below? We're in section A. So check box 1 and 2 for the positive side for the MACD, showing me that the long-term trend is changing, showing me that these steps are now going to start going up. RSI, using RSI to figure out when it's extremely overbought or extremely oversold. This is the first time that the RSI has broken, well, double bottomed, number one at the 44, broke above the moving average, right? I posted this the other day. Broke the moving average at strike 1 on the bullish side. Came down to use the moving average, strike 2 on the bullish side. Came down to stay above the 50 line, strike 3 on the bullish side. Made a higher high, strike 4 on the bullish side. I posted yesterday the next resistance level on the RSI is 54 level, 55. This is why I have the alert here. And once we break that resistance, now guess what? We have room to grow to next levels, extreme overbought levels. So because the indicators are telling me we are mega bullish and we have room to grow, I go to the price action and then we look at what's going on. The first thing I see is, let's delete everything, we'll do it again, right? We saw this resistance level. This pattern right here is very bullish because it's a breakout of the resistance, right? You usually want to see a breakout and a retest showing you that this is a breakout, not a fake out. If this would have, if this would have broken out and came back into the trend, we would have came back down to the 54 cents. But because we came back down, used previous support as support, you can see right there, right? Let's get rid of everything now. 1, 2. So we broke out, came back, and used the 75 cents. Now we have room to grow to the upside. Everything in the chart is telling me we're going up in Matic. So now I'm looking for levels to take profit on Matic, and that's that, right? I just posted on my YouTube. Since the video, we're up 11% without any leverage. What I do see next for a measured move, is this. I do see Matic making an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle is the same resistance levels with higher support lows. And this could be a measured move. Now, what they're going to teach you in the books is you're going to take the whole body of the flag and then you're going to come over here, bringing you to 258 to 312. I'm teaching you to be conservative, right? Because the most important thing is we make hypothetical money here. What that means is I'm always going to choose 2-3 levels to take profit, because if it stops at $1.53 or 140, guess what? I've taken profit twice. If it stops at the 121 to potentially the 126, guess what? I have still taken profit. If it goes up to the 193 to potentially the 208, I have taken a lot of profit. And the reason being is because at that level, we will be overbought on, let's just say, the weekly, right? So, once again, everything lines up. Everything is lining up for Matic to make an initial push once again to, let's just say, the 123 to the 125. Now, everything happens in waves. So you can see here, this wave did this. This wave can do this. Then we could do this. Then we could do this. Those are my levels. Enjoy the day. XDC. XDC, once again, doesn't look like it's ready for a break to the upside, meaning out of its resistance, right? It looks like we're going to pump up about 20 to 23%, but unfortunately we're staying in this falling wedge. Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside, right? We went this, we did this, we did this. I think we could do this, stop here. I don't know if we're going to break to the upside, do that Matic thing, break to the upside, or does XDC have one more time to come back down, form that double bottom at the 4 cents, 5 cents, then it has its pump to the upside. So the first thing that I would like to look at, XDC BTC, right? This is what we want to look at. Look how we went right down to this level here. Now, what was resistance what was support will turn into resistance, unfortunately. The first resistance. So what that means is I think XDC versus Bitcoin could go back to here. And if XDC versus Bitcoin goes just back to resistance, then that means XDC versus the dollar can do this and go from here back to these levels here, right about here, at around 0.49 to 0.50 and make a cool 15 to 20%. Now, when does this break to the upside? When XDC breaks back into this trend, because when you have a fake out like this and you were to come back into the trend, you're going to use previous resistance as current resistance, right? This was the trend from 2021 to 2024. XDC versus Bitcoin is just doing this, right? Here is support, here is resistance. So my point is we're underneath support. So we're going to use it as resistance. So I could see XDC potentially going up. Then we need to evaluate if it's going to break back into the trend or if it's going to use this line as resistance again and possibly do something like this, right? Like a nice little double bottom. And then eventually when we do break out of the double bottom and we come back to this level once again, we are now in the trend. Once we break into the trend, guess what happens? We have room to grow back to the last resistance, right? The last resistance, the last resistance, the last resistance. So guess what happens? Once again, pause the video. Actually, forget it. I'll do it live with you. July 2023. Come on, man. There we go. July. So, you think it's important for your coin to gain momentum versus Bitcoin? Here is July 2023, this candle, when we went from support to resistance. XDC went up 135%. So, F the news, trust the charts. This goes back to here, we go back to here. When does this play out? Because technically you're supposed to take the pole, and then you break it here and bring it here. And when does XDC, the good old days, when does XDC go back to 0.075 to potentially 0.090? When that happens. So once again, if you're heavily invested into XDC, not financial advice, this is the chart I'm going to be setting major alerts on. Right? You want to set an alert here to see if it stops. You want to set an alert here to see if it breaks above. And then you could plan this chart, right? Curious how much percent this is. $120, 130%, right? That's the video, folks. I love you. You have to F around to find out, right? I would have never known that trend with XDC versus Bitcoin, how much it pumped up this and that, unless I actually looked at the chart and figured it out and go through the checkbox, right? And I'm trying to teach you the checkbox so that once again, this is why I love crypto. Any day of the week, I could open my computer, look at a chart, don't care about the ticker or anything that I say, right? The founder, the circulating supply, the sector, the news, good or bad, right? I'll leave you with this. What's going on with this coin? I thought, lawsuit with Richard Hart, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Hex pumped the other day, right? Another ascending triangle, right? What happened with this coin? Everybody and the mother was talking about how it's the end, it's the end, it's the end, right? But look at what happened. Ascending triangle broke to the upside. Trust the charts over people. I'm going to get that t-shirt made. Charts over people. Because it's the truth. It really is. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. We're almost at 200 subscribers. If you know anyone that could benefit from these videos, if you're part of any groups, trading groups, whatever it is, do me a favor and share these videos. I greatly appreciate it. If you appreciate the support, the only thing that I can ask is just like the video, put a silly comment in the comment section, and help the videos push through YouTube's algorithm. That's it. Enjoy the day. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave it in the comment section. I love you, so we'll see how this goes. But if you have any requests that you'd like to see me do, leave it in the comment section, and I'll pick maybe 2, 3 of them. Enjoy.